Is now a good time to buy? I get asked this almost every single week. And the honest answer is, it really depends on who you are and what you're buying. Because in the Kamloops market right now, it's not just one market, it's three very different markets happening at the exact same time. And whether now is a good time for you really comes down to which one you're in. Hi, I'm Scott McDowell with Kamloops home team at Royal LePage West Wind Realty. I've been working in this market for over 20 years, and right now is one of the more nuanced environments that I've ever seen. So let me break it down by buyer type, because depending on where you're at in your life, each answer is very different. Okay, so first let me give you a quick picture of what is happening across all three main product types right now, because your decision should be based off the current conditions, not what you heard 6 months ago. Let's start off with single family homes. The homes that are priced well are still selling quite quickly, sometimes in multiple offers. The quality inventory in this segment is quite limited, so when something does hit the market that does check off all the boxes, the buyers tend to move quite quickly. There definitely isn't a lot of room to negotiate for these well-priced homes right now. Townhouses overall are in a little bit more of a balanced position. There's a lot of good inventory in a number of different areas, so depending on which complex or which neighborhood that you're looking in, there can be a lot of negotiating room, or there can be very little negotiating room depending on where you're at. This is a segment where the patient buyers who really know what they're looking for can actually find some real value right now. Now, condos, however, are the softest part of the market right now. Inventory is up, days on market is quite a bit longer. The buyers have the most negotiating power out of any product type. So if you are flexible on the condo side, this is generally one of the better buying windows that we've seen over the past couple years. And rates are sitting at the 4% range on a 5-year fix right now. That's meaningfully lower than what we've seen over the past couple years and at the peak. And it changes the monthly payment picture quite significantly compared to even a couple months ago. Okay, so if you are a first-time home buyer, here's my honest take. The condo and townhouse market right now is the most buyer-friendly than it's been in a very long time. You have a lot more negotiating room. You have some time to do proper due diligence. With rates hovering around 4%, that does make the monthly payment on a condo or a townhouse far more manageable than it was when the rates were sitting quite a bit higher. The benchmark price for a condo in Kamloops right now is around $379,000 and a townhouse around $508,000. So what I want to do is I want to show you those numbers, what they actually mean for your monthly payments in comparison to what buyers are facing just 2 or 3 years ago, because this shift has been quite significant. Okay, let's take the townhouse first. In June of 2023, the benchmark price for a townhouse in Kamloops was $538,000. The 5-year fixed rate at that time was sitting around about 5.5% to 6% range. So with a minimum down payment, your monthly mortgage payment would be roughly $3,300 a month. And by June of 2024, the prices had barely moved, still around $540,000, but the rates had actually come down to about 4.5% to about the 5% range. So your monthly payment actually dropped to about $3,000 from the $3,300 that you're paying just 1 year earlier. So today, that same townhouse is benchmarked at $508,000. With rates around the 4% range, your monthly payment with a minimum down payment is coming around $2,600 a month. So that's $700 a month less than the buyer was paying in 2023. On the very same product type in the very same city, that is $8,400 a year back in your pocket just from where the rates and prices are sitting right now compared to 2 years ago. The condo numbers tell a very similar story. A condo buyer in 2023 had a benchmark price of $404,000, and a 6% interest rate was looking at about $2,400 a month. That same buyer today at $379,000 with a 4% interest rate is at $1,950 a month. So that's actually a savings of $500 a month. And that's a part about this market that doesn't get talked about enough. People hear, is now a good time to buy a house in today's market? They think whether the price has gone up or whether the price has gone down, but the monthly payment picture for the first-time home buyer specifically right now is some of the best it's been in years. And that's a part about the market and part about the day-to-day that means more than the benchmark price. So if you've been sitting on the fence as a first-time home buyer, these conditions that you're sitting in right now are really favorable. More selection in the condo and townhouse space, there's more room to negotiate, and the monthly payment works for a whole lot better than for people right now than it did in 2022 or 2023. And that combination really doesn't last forever. As more buyers re-enter the market, both the negotiating room and the rate advantage really starts to shrink. So now, if you are looking to make a move up, I want to make a case for you right now that right now is one of the better windows for you to make that move up that we've seen in the past couple years. And the reason is that it really comes down to how this market has moved at very different price points. What more people don't realize is that the lower to mid-range homes in Kamloops, your $600,000 to $700,000 range, have really held their value much better throughout the correction over the past couple years. Demand at this price point has stayed relatively strong, but at the higher end market, homes in the $8-9 million plus range has definitely seen far more meaningful price reduction than what we've seen over the mid-level properties. So those properties have come down a whole lot more. They have a whole lot more negotiating room and a whole lot less demand than what we've seen, especially when we're seeing the markets at the coast and a lot of people who are coming up here with a little bit of the extra money. Those markets are suffering, so we're not seeing that influx of the buyers coming up from the coast. So here's what that means if you are looking to make a move up as a buyer. If you're likely selling a home in that stronger, more resilient price point, what that means is you're actually going to sell pretty well in today's market. So if you're buying up in the segment of market that has more room for negotiating than it did 2 or 3 years ago, you actually win on both sides of this this transaction. Layer on top of that, same thing that we mentioned about first-time homebuyers, the rates in the 4% range versus 5.5% to 6% range in 2023. That changes your monthly payment on a $900,000 home by a couple $100 a month. So the combination of a better sales price when you're leaving your house, your lower rates, and more negotiating room of the home that you're moving up to, that's a move-up environment that really doesn't come along all the time. Now, to take advantage of this, you have to be ready to move when the right home appears. And that starts before you even find the home. You got to get your home ready now. Do the decluttering, finish up all those touch-ups that you've been putting off, and get the professional photos ready now before you even seriously start shopping. Because when the right home hits the market, it's not going to wait 2 or 3 weeks for you to get organized. It's going to sell. And if you're not ready to list your home the same day as you're writing off on that next house, you're either going to miss out on an opportunity or put yourself in an extremely stressful position trying to do everything at once. The move-up buyers we work with who are in the best position right now are the ones that have their photos done, their home prepared, and list price agreed upon as soon as they found that next property. So then they can act the same day. The preparation is exactly what separates the buyers who get the home from the ones who watch it sell to somebody else. And when the right home isn't showing up on MLS, our team goes and finds it. We locate many off-market opportunities for our move-up buyers who go directly into neighborhoods and buildings that they want to be in. It's an approach that's worked well for us for dozens of our clients, and it's definitely worth a conversation if you've been watching the market and not finding exactly what you're looking for. And if you're a downsizer, this is what the market looks like for you. This is actually a significant opportunity for you right now. So the product that you're likely moving into, the condo or the townhouse, is actually one of the softest parts of the market right now. So you have a lot of negotiating power on the buy side, and your current home right now, if it's a well-maintained single-family home in a good neighborhood, you're definitely selling from a segment that has a lot of demand and limited quality supply. So that spread between what you're selling and what you're buying can definitely work very well in your favor. So now the one thing I do want to be honest with you though is even if you are a downsizer who's looking for a larger, higher quality condo or a townhouse, the kind of place that genuinely feels like a step down in size but not in your lifestyle, those properties do command a higher price that a lot of downsizers are expecting going in. So the entry-level condo market does have a lot of negotiating room, but the upper end condo and townhouse market, the bigger units, the better finishings in the right buildings, those ones that are priced accordingly, they definitely don't sit. So if you are thinking about downsizing, it's definitely worth having a clear-eyed conversation about what your current home is actually worth right now and what your target purchase looks like and what the real gap and gain looks like for your specific situation. That's a conversation we have with our downsizing clients all the time and almost always clarifies the picture very, very quickly as to exactly what you're looking into. Okay, so here's the bottom line for all three. First-time homebuyers, the condo and townhouse market is giving you an opening right now. So if you've been sitting on this, the conditions are more buyer-friendly than they've been in a very long time. For the move-up buyer, the timing challenge is real, but it's a very solvable problem. The answer isn't waiting for the perfect market. It's working with somebody who can help you with it, find your next home before it even hits market, or create a more proactive plan instead of just reacting to the market. For downsizers, you have real opportunity today, especially on the buy side, if you know that what the quality looks like at your target and price point with very clear expectations. If any of this sounds like your situation, let's have a real conversation. We do have a free call where we look at exactly where you're at, what your realistic path looks like for your specific circumstances, and what your options are in today's market. No pressure, no sales pitch, just a real conversation. Make sure you book a call with us with the link in the description below. If you did find this information helpful, make sure you subscribe to the channel as we put out regular content about what is actually happening in today's market in Kamloops, so you always have a clear picture to work with. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll check you on the next one. Bye now.